Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure showcase video, and today we have Team Flash version 2, sort of Team Flash. If you guys remember my previous Team Flash video, it consists of Barry Allen, Harrison Wells, Earth 1 Harrison Wells, well, Eobard disguised as Harrison Wells. We had Caitlin Snow, Cisco, and Joe West. Well, this time it's a little bit different. I mean, I do have version 2s of Caitlin Snow and Cisco, and sort of a version 2 for Harrison Wells here. And this Garrick here, he's not part of the team, but I made him because he did appear in the Flash season 2 finale. Now, if you haven't seen the Flash season 2 finale, obviously don't watch this video. Well, it's already been spoiled for you. Yeah, so there is a Garrick, and this is what he looks like. So, didn't see the season 2 finale? Well, it's all on you, not me. And before I get into the video, I will say that this is going to be my last showcase video until after my 5-year anniversary video I'm planning on making. And I am making more like showcase videos, just like Halo stuff, Batman v Superman stuff, other like Dark Knight stuff, and maybe some Star Wars, who knows. We just might have to see. So I just want to get this video out of the way. Yeah. These figures are based on my interpretation alone. That's one thing I want to say. Number 2, I do not sell my figures. And number 3, I made these figures based on my own I already said that, but I made these figures because I want to make them, not because of other people telling me to make them. Because I go by, if I want to make a figure, then I'll make a figure. So if you guys are wondering, am I going to make more CW figures? It really depends if I want to or not. I would make Killer Frost if I want to. I would make Deathstorm if I want to. But if I don't want to, then you just have to deal with it, because so far this is the only CW I have planned so far. So, but who knows? We might have to see later. So yeah, I do not sell my figures. These figures are based on my interpretation, and I made these because I want to. As I always have to keep repeating them because no one listens. So, let's get into the video. I just hope whenever I make a showcase video, or when I take a picture of it and post it on other social media, I hope that people actually watch the video before giving me credit on some things. That's what happened to my Batman v Superman showcase when I did something different than Batarang. I did not came up with that idea, guys. That was all my friend Andy, Delta Custom. So if you want to credit someone with the Batarang idea, credit him instead. So this hairpiece was actually not my idea. It was actually from JerdFigs, my favorite Canadian maple syrup dude. You should check it out because he makes really neat original content. So he came up with this idea of the hairpiece, and this is the generic female hairpiece we keep seeing. But what I did, I sanded it down. I cut it first, and it's kind of stuck to his head now, and basically just cut it and sand it, so that way you can have his hair. Now, he does have a double face, but his head's kind of stuck. His other facial expressions not much. This was the first head I painted, and unfortunately it's scratched off a little. But I decided to go with the Vibe glasses because I just think it's a lot more appropriate. Plus, it looks a lot better than the original head I painted. I mean, my first Cisco is terrible. The only thing I kept from my first Cisco, because I think it's the best part, is the legs. So I can just carry that. But this is an entirely new Cisco figure. Like, I gave him like a more of an accurate skin tone, because I don't know, he seems like he looks like a mix between a Latino or a white skin color. So I just went with this because I just think it's just a lot more appropriate, and I really like how Cisco looks. He has like a random doohickey device, and painting all these dots are annoying. And yes, it does continue in all 4 sides, and I forget when he wore this, so I just found it on Google and I decided to paint it. So yeah, that's all. Like all the dots are not even, but I honestly don't really care. It's hard to make it even to begin with. And this is what this is. It's like a CD and a moon. That's his shirt. I mean, he wears weird things. And yeah, so I like Cisco, and I like the fact that he's improving with his powers a bit, so that's cool to see. Reverb, his Earth 2 doppelganger, he was such a waste. I wish they could have kept him a little bit longer. But other than that, Cisco Ramon, definitely he improved in season 2. Just like my version 1 of Cisco, my version 1 of Caitlin Snow was also terrible, so I completely remade this whole entire figure. And yeah, there's nothing I kept from the original one because screw that original figure. So for Caitlin Snow, originally I gave her the same hairpiece I used my first Caitlin Snow, which was the same hairpiece that Cisco had, but I think it's not wise to have two characters in the same showcase who have similar hairs. So even if one's modified, so I decided to went with this. This is not the right accurate choice for Caitlin Snow's hair, because I believe most of the time she had like hair coming down, like near her chest. So just like the Scarlet Witch hairpiece that I used and other people have used. But the problem thing is because of her trench coat, that hairpiece won't fit. And that's why there's this crease mark, because I was trying to cram that hairpiece in there, but it just wouldn't work. So yeah, this is a modified fabric piece, the fabric that I own, and I just made my own lab coat, and I actually glued the lab coat together so that way it wouldn't pop up. So yeah, I just want to make the lab coat version because I just think it's a lot more appropriate. Now her hair color, it's the hair that Lego used for their Agent 13. But I just like weathered it with light brown. So yeah, this head is actually from the female resistance trooper head. I actually took that from my Jean Grey because I think it's a lot more appropriate for Caitlin, and I took the Scarlet Witch head which they also use for Supergirl for Jean Grey because of the Phoenix powers. You can use the red eyes. I think I explained that in my X-Men showcase. Here's like Brick. I think this was from Brick Warriors. I'm not sure. Brick Warriors or Brick Forge. It's just some test tube, and it's because she's a scientist, and to like remove her whole entire torso here. This is basically a Lego skirt that I just made and just paint just simple shoes, and she can still move, but the thing is the fabric is kind of tight. She can't move her legs that much. She has limited articulations, but that's basically it for Caitlin Snow. A simple but effective figure, and we can move on to our next. I actually like this version of Harrison Wells a lot better. My wheelchair one, I mean, I like how the wheelchair's made, but I don't like the heads I painted. Now Harrison Wells in season 1, also known as Eobard Thawne, disguised as Harrison Wells, he just wear like simple plain black shirt and pants, and to be honest, this Harrison Wells is no different. But the one thing I did change a lot, it was definitely his head, because it's basically the head I painted, and I think it looks a lot better than my previous one, because my previous one was shit, and it wasn't. And also I don't like the hair choice I used, but it was the only thing close enough. But luckily this Superman hairpiece is super useful, and it works for the Earth 2 Harrison Wells. Not sure about the Earth 1 Harrison Wells. I mean, I assume they're both the same. They have the same hairstyle. Removing his two guns out of the way. Basically, this is basically a modified fabric I use, and basically to give him just like a simple sort of a long jacket. And it's really not that much. I mean, this dude's just as simple as the version as his Earth 1 counterpart. And here's his guns. Basically, I could have done a much better job with the guns and to make them like super detailed and accurate and all, but I was just too lazy, and I just want to make this a simple but effective figure. So yeah, I painted my own black on the sleeves. I painted like the watch, the metahuman detector on his hand, and that's basically it for Harrison Wells. Nothing much to say really. And we can just move on to the figure, which is arguably my favorite figure I've ever made. And that figure is, if the camera can focus, is our real Jay Garrick, played by John Wesley Shipp, who if you guys know, he played the Flash back in 1990s, and Barry Allen, and he currently plays Barry Allen's dead father. So yeah, spoiler right there. So it's really cool to see Earth 3 Henry Allen, but his name is Jay Garrick. So that's really cool to see. I hope we see more of him, maybe in CW's Legends of Tomorrow, because if you guys didn't know, spoiler for CW's Legends of Tomorrow, at the very end they did name drop Justice Society of America, and I believe Jay Garrick is associated with that. So that would be really cool to see more of Jay Garrick, because I know I know the actor missed all the fun being the Flash back in the 1990s, and it's really cool that he's basically the Flash again. So that's really cool to see. And his costume, it's not the most comic book accurate costume. I mean, it's kind of funny how Hunter Zolomon had a most accurate costume when he was pretending to be Jay Garrick. But I still like the costume for what it is, even if it's not as classic as we think. Jay Garrick, he is supposed to be old, so I think it's a wise choice that they didn't make Teddy Sears as our Jay Garrick, but instead they made John Wesley Shipp. I think it's a perfect choice now that I think about it. So to go over the helmet is basically the same exact thing what I did, but no, now that I think about it, the lightning bolts look different on both sides. It's kind of hard to replicate the same thing. To be honest, I like the lightning bolts on my Hunter Zolomon better than the one on Jay Garrick. But the thing that's definitely a lot better than this Jay Garrick from Hunter Zolomon, I screwed up on a hair so many times with Hunter Zolomon. So there's a lot of glue. There's a gap in between. But for Jay Garrick here, it's kind of hard because they're both freaking J's. I actually did this one time with the hair and I got it right and no gaps, and I am so happy because making this guy was a big pain, sanding down and cutting down that hairpiece. Moving on to the torso. The torso basically all painted by me, and I painted the dark red outlines, and I think doing that is actually really cool to see that effect. And I did paint on all four sides to make it seamless and effective. Painting the arms, painting all the black outlines, it just looks a lot better. And plus, the head, there's actually a Superman head, but I just erased the mouth and just add more wrinkles. And for the belt, it's basically what I did for the belt. I only did it for the front part, not for the back. I used fabric, and what I did, I actually cut Procreate to make the belt buckle and a lightning bolt on the side. And that's what I did, and it actually looks really, really cool. And his boots, all painted with the dark red outlines and all. And that's basically it for Jay Garrick. Back is not that much. It's not that's surprising. So yeah, I really love this figure, and this is actually my #1 favorite figure I've ever made. And who knows, maybe it's either him or Cortana. It's really hard to decide because those two are because Cortana is also looking fantastic. So yeah, that's it for the showcase, guys. Well, wait, I actually have more figures to show you. Surprise, surprise. Just 3 more, but don't worry, they won't take that long. What I'm showing you here is basically 3 upgraded figures I've done. If you guys remember my first one of Jay Garrick back in my Arrow and Flash custom minifigure I made months ago, during the time when we all thought this guy was the real deal, the real Jay Garrick. Turns out we were wrong. So, but I decided, I don't really like the face now. But when I looked at the Star Wars Resistance head, I was like, you know what, that generic head could work for Hunter Zolomon here. So that's what I did. And you guys are wondering, I didn't really change much. I mean, I had to redo the hairpiece again because it broke again. So this is the 3rd time, and I'm pissed. But it's all good. And plus, I realized the dark red I used, that Lego used for their figures like Iron Man, it looks a little bit brighter. For Hunter Zolomon, when he was disguised when he was pretending to be a hero, the dark red is a little bit darker than I thought. So I had to paint my own dark red so that way it looks darker. That means I have to go around the lightning bolts, around the buttons, and I have to paint all 4 sides, and I have to paint the arms. And doing that, it gives some sort of a leathery feel, and I do like that feeling. And you can still kind of see Lego's dark red, but by doing that, it kind of gives it a weathering effect, and I think it's actually a lot more effective. I finally have dark brown hands now, so I won't have to use those god-annoying normal brown hands on my J. And the cool thing is, my friend from campus, you guys might know him on Flickr, he's known as Detriotika. I'll link him down below. He gave me, when I came back during spring semester, he visited my dorm and he actually gave me a couple of free stuff, and those free stuff include pouches. And these pouches are extremely awesome, and I used it for Hunter Zolomon, and because he does have these pouches. Well, it's more on the sides here, but you can't really fit them, especially with the arms in the way, so I decided to put them up front. So that's basically it for what I did for this upgraded Hunter Zolomon as a hero. So moving on to our next figure. Reverse Flash was my least favorite figure back then, but now he's actually pretty good now. I actually upgraded him a lot. So if you guys remember that Reverse Flash figure I made 2 years ago, well, it's shit compared to this. So the one thing I changed, basically, I gave a little bit more dark red outlines for the squiggly weird macaroni areas. So I did that, and I painted like more like lightning bolts and a little bit more accuracy, because back then there weren't a lot of reference pictures, to be honest. And so I painted like more silver buttons, more like a leather effect, more lightning bolts. Painted like more like a little silver bolts like on the sides. And apparently there's like red stripes on the side of his torso, so I fixed that. I fixed the hexagon abdomen pattern, and for the legs, there was actually a lot more yellow than I thought, so I make sure I weathered in a lot of yellow as possible to make it look messy, but it's seamless. The back I completely changed because the back was clunky and messy, so I basically painted like a weathering effect with a vomit yellow and more of the shading effect. So I did that, gave him a ring because Malcolm gave that to me for free as from a trade, so it was sweet. And the head was basically a Lone Ranger head because I like the mouth, and I just painted like just like angry expression eyes and glowing eyes. I could have painted like normal eyes, but I think he looks better with his eyes glowing like this and not just have red outline around his normal eyes, because I think that's kind of lame now. And unfortunately, you can't really see the smile that much, so I had to like sand down this part of the flash out a little bit so that way you could kind of see the mouth. And yeah, earlier it was just a yellow head and I just had to paint flesh and it looked bad. Now Reverse Flash looks better, and it's kind of funny, he has 2 rings, that he's holding a ring and he's wearing a ring. So moving on to our last upgraded figure. And our last upgraded figure is Joe West. Now don't worry, he'll take less than a minute. I didn't change him at all. The only thing I basically changed was the back, because the back was all painted white, and then the details did not like that idea, so I completely redo it, erased the details that was behind all that white paint, and so it's all smooth, and I just paint the sides. Other than that, and I believe I gave him a new gun. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I made this figure like a long time ago. I still love this figure because I do think it looks exactly like the actor who played him. Yeah, so it's really sweet. That's it for Joe. And we can finally conclude this video, guys. That's just a little quick thing I just wanted to show you. Ramon, what did you vibe about? Something terrible.
Hey guys, I'm Zack Snyder, and I'm in charge of your movies now. Guess what? We're gonna have so much fun. Everything will be dark, everything will be in slow-mo, boring dialogue, and Turkish airline. Everyone's gonna be killers, it's gonna be great. This Avengers movie is gonna be awesome, I'm cool. For my version of Civil War, you, Cap, are gonna be a bloodthirsty cannibal because that is realistic. And plus, you'll go to jail just like in the comics, and you'll get raped in prison, because I would do that for Batman. And lastly, we need lots and lots of Martha!
That's all I have to say in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, leave a like and a comment. Follow me on my other social media sites so you can see all my other work in progress, and you can see what else I've been doing. So that's all I really need to say. Flash Season 2, great. It was awesome. Can't wait for Season 3 when they're going more of a flashpoint. So yeah, that's gonna be really exciting to see, and to see more characters show up in the CW. That's interesting. And that's all. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.